Hello guys, my name is ELLIS. I'm a fashion designer that works with solely waste materials, and today I'm going to be starting on your textile research journey with JK Masterclasses. I'd first like to show you some of my previous work. All my garments start their journey as a textile swatch which has been developed from waste materials. Now the inspirations for my work comes from environmental impact, environmental awareness. So we're looking at things like coral bleaching because of the heating of the sea, which has a direct impact from climate change. And then we're looking at the materials and the waste materials that are contributing to this impact. So for example, we have ocean plastics, fossil fuels, disposable coffee capsules decomposing in landfill, and we're looking at these materials and ways in which we can manipulate them to create garments, which in turn will create a 360-degree messaging. Before I go on to the textile development phase, I want to show you the work of some other designers that have used waste materials as a core element in their garments. So these materials are ranging from footballs, football boots, shoes, trainers, shoelaces, ropes, plastics, zippers, plastic packaging. All these waste materials that you're coming into contact with every day. And you can see the way designers have put things together to create patterns, to create symmetry, to create shape, create structure. So you really need to be thinking about this when you're in the development stage of your textiles. You need to think about what is the aim for your garment. Do you want it to follow the body shape? Do you want it to have structure? Do you want it to have a certain silhouette? Because these are all the answers you need to be answering right at the start. If you're developing structure, you need to look at the materials that hold these structures. If you're developing something that hugs the body and then creates shape maybe at the hips or on the shoulders or any element of the body, you need to be looking at the materials that you're going to be developing to achieve this goal. You also want to be thinking about the way you're going to be constructing your textile. You want to be putting the idea of super glue, double-sided sticky tape to the back of your mind. You want to be creating textiles and texture and shape with a way that it's not restricted. You want it to have its own fluid movement. You want it to move with the body, because that'll be giving your garment a whole new life. So I'm going to go through some quick ideas with you. Now, when developing a textile, you really want to be hands-on to see how the materials are reacting. You want to look at possibilities, and we can turn out possibilities also. So this comes with trial and error. So here's a technique using Shibori technique, which is Japanese. This technique could be used with anything polyester. So you could be looking at old garments, your grandma's old scarves that she doesn't wear anymore. You could then look around for waste materials that have interesting shapes that can be tied inside the polyester fabric, which could be boiled for 15 to 30 minutes and then removed to hold a shape similar to the black top in the video. Another idea would be similar to the one that I'm demonstrating, and it's using espresso capsules, taking the lightweight aluminium, tie them inside the polyester, creating shape and texture with that material and keeping it there. Now that could be another option to explore. The bonus with having the materials locked inside the fabric and keeping it there is you're dealing with two different waste materials at the same time. Whereas with the first technique, the original 3D Shibori technique, you'll be using waste materials to create your shape, but then you'll be removing material from the fabric, and then that's left with no answer for. So here I want to explore the potential of zippers in textiles. Normally when we think about used garments, we're thinking about the textile itself and not the trims and closure that makes the garment. So I've made a garment made from zippers before. The reason being I wanted to depict the damage that we're causing marine life. So I wanted to replicate a barnacle. So for this I was exploring potential with zippers, which I'm now showing you on the screen. I'm simply coiling it up to represent a barnacle from the ocean. This is going back to what I said before, and it's being hands-on and trial and error. You never know what this material is going to bring to the table. You never know how it's going to react. You can't be forced. So it's getting the material in your hands, manipulating it, and see in what you can come up with. The main thing is, don't be afraid of making mistakes. This is all about trial and error. If something in your head you don't feel like it won't work out, give it a try. Because what will happen is a mistake, and that mistake will lead you in a different direction, which you weren't thinking about. So it's all about trying, and eventually a mistake or an idea will take you down a different direction, which you'll be able to achieve something much more effective than you planned. You'll notice when you're working with waste materials that you'll also be generating waste yourself. So instead of wasting this material, keep it to the side and keep it in the back of your mind, because as you're building your garment, you might see a potential for this material being used, whether it be in trims, for certain elements to build shape or embellishments. So always keep it boxed to the side and keep it in the back of your mind. Also, don't cancel out the idea of combining two waste materials together. So here I'm showing you a quick idea with textile offcuts and waste packaging, punching holes and weaving the two. Also, in this process, I've previously mentioned, you'll be generating waste. So I've punched out leather out of leather offcuts here, and they create a beautiful shape. So keep this aside for embellishments and trims. So one of the core waste materials that I've used throughout all my work is disposable coffee capsules. So I'm quickly going to run you through some quick ideas on how you kind of build shape through using these materials. So here is just taking the rim off the capsule and looking at potential with them by building up a layering and generating a shape from this. As mentioned at the start of the video, think about the way you're going to construct your textile, because this will help creating shape and constructing your garment. So here's a flat textile created from Nespresso coffee capsules, but the way that it's constructed, it still has movement. This will allow me to create sculptural shapes when linked together in the correct positions. This will allow a room for change when making the garments. It will give you options of flexibility when creating your garments, and also allow the wearer much more comfort, allowing more fluidity when wearing the garment, which will have a huge impact. I hope you enjoy this masterclass of textile research. My next class will be focused on the development and building the silhouette with textiles. I'll be working on the mannequin, exploring different shapes, different textiles, different textures. If you want to get in contact with me to ask me about certain materials, share your ideas, feel free to contact me via Instagram official RHYS ELLIS or via email studio@rhyisellis.com, and I'll get straight back to you. Until then, keep trying, and trial and error is key.